now I just wanted to cover what you could use a mailing list for, because it's not all just about selling your services, though it can be. There are numerous ways which you can use the email list, as we just mentioned, to sell your development services. But you could also use it to sell courses, merchandise, or Patreon services. Or you could do passive income options like affiliate marketing, print on demand merchandise, or sponsorship deals. And those are quite interesting ways in which you can earn additional revenue to help you fund your business. Now, we're going to talk about how to build an email marketing list. Many people focus on actually creating a list of hundreds or thousands of contacts in the hope that the numbers, pure kind of, I'm going to push this email out to thousands, and the statistics say that 2 or 3 of them will get back, and that will yield a lot of sales. It's not always the case, and sometimes smaller lists are much more achievable and can be scaled up and are more effective and cost effective for you. It takes time to build a mailing list. That are people who say you can build a mailing list for 100,000 within a few days. But small lists can be built within a couple of days, which could be just as effective as spending a lot of money trying to build a large list, which may not be as effective. And when you're really wanting to build an effective list, large lists will take weeks or months to complete. So there are several ways which we can build a mailing list, and these can be done in everyday activities. If you've got a website, you can put a few of these in. If you've got social media, you can put a few of these in. And as you're out and about and talking to people, some of these can be applicable. So the first one is to ask contacts, clients, or prospects you meet whether you can add them to your mailing list. So one of the things that we do in the Reptile business is that someone who contacts us and says, oh, do you have this available? Or do you know anything about this? The last question we ask is, oh, well, we might provide information on this in the future as well. Would you like to be on the mailing list so you can get that news? Or we might have that in the future. Would you like to be on the mailing list so you get it first? And quite a lot of time they say, oh, yes, please. And as you're out about at business networking meetings, or you're talking to someone about your work and say, oh, yes, I thought about an app. Maybe in the future I might get one. Get them into your mailing list. Say, oh, well, I could put you on my mailing list. And they say, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Get them to write down a mailing list and put it on manually. It's one of the best ways to get it there, because you've had that personal engagement and you've had that way to say, yes, they've opted in. Another way is website opt-in campaigns. So you've got the pop-ups which can come up, or you've got them on a sidebar. You can do several there. You can do a welcome pop-up. You can do an exit intent pop-up. These can be fairly effective as long as you build them correctly. Then you've got competitions and contests. This is another one which is often used by big brands. They give away a $50 Amazon voucher or a discount on one of their services or a free product. The idea is that people enter with their email address, they get put into a raffle, and the 1 out or 2 out get the prize, and everyone else is in the mailing list. Another option is offering discounts or free resources. 42.3% of US residents, and I'm presuming roughly the world, will subscribe to a mailing list for a discount. So that is something which you can use to quickly build a mailing list to those numbers. And also offering learning materials. So have a automated email series where you teach them something which you don't particularly want to spend time doing, like how to test an app to work or something like that, and have them join the mailing list in order to learn that through the automated email, but at the same time you've got them in the mailing list so you can email them for work and things in the future. What can you not do to build a mailing list? Now this list is about the same length, but it's got a lot of things which people do, especially smaller businesses and even some large ones. I caught one out the other day. Someone decided that they tried one of these and said, oh yeah, we got it from here. And I said, well, that's not legal. And they said, oh, we didn't realize. But these are the ways which you can't. You might recognize some of these from law. So the first one is buying an email list. We've said it before. Buying an email list is not illegal, but sending emails to those on the list is illegal, potentially. If it's info at, then that's not illegal. If it's a limited company or a charity, but technically speaking, anything with identifiable information is illegal. Email scraping, so that's using software to collect emails off the internet. Just because it's on the internet, it's just because it's in the public domain does not mean it's fair use. You have to be careful with that. Copying from a directory. Now, this is an interesting one. This actually went to court a few years ago. Someone had a directory with loads of email addresses. Someone went on and had the directory and copied them all from the directory, put them in their mailing list, sent it out, and then the person who owned the directory found out and took them to court, and the directory owner won the case. In addition to that, because they didn't have permission, the other company also got slapped with data breaching the email marketing laws as well. So it's like a double whammy for them. They had a lot of costs and they didn't really last much longer after that. Using online tools to download contacts, very similar to email scraping, but there are slight differences in there. And another one, randomly guessing email addresses. I have heard of people doing that before, especially when they've got a company and they're trying to get hold of a CEO or CFO and they're typing in the name of the CEO or the CEO at this company and they randomly guess it. That's not the best way to build a mailing list. It really does A, affect your statistics, but B, also breach those rules again. And when you're building an email list, there are certain emails that you're really not trying to collect. These are the ones which are going to be low value for yourself or potentially just a waste of time. You know, generic email addresses like anything at info at, marketing at, sales at, although there's no identifiable information, there's also no way to know who's actually picking that up. You know, info at could be the secretary, so not a decision maker. And the chance of them actually passing that on to someone who is going to be valuable is very, very low. You could be lucky, it could go to the person who's a decision maker, but at the same time, it's probably not going to be something that they're going to look at reading because it's coming on the generic one. And it doesn't show any kind of personalization, so you haven't really got permission. So again, I won't bother with those. And also, if you're sending it to a sole trader or a partnership and they've got those, you're actually breaching the rules, even though there's no identifiable information inside the email. Emails based at Gmail or Yahoo. Now, technically speaking, if you're sending to consumers, yes, these ones are going to be more relevant to you. But if you're wanting to speak to business owners and business decision makers, the Gmail and Yahoo isn't the professional email addresses you should be collecting. There are new filters that can restrict access of your emails to people who are got their emails on Gmail or Yahoo. They've recently come in. And also companies which are using Gmail or Yahoo tend to have limited funds. So you've got less chance of securing a good deal. Focus on the brands which have got their own domain because it's a lot more effective. And then emails with dates on them. This is an interesting one because statistically there was a report out and anything with a date in it tend to be fake or limited time emails. So people don't tend to use them for a long time and you could just be sending it just to sit in an inbox and it's not really worth it. So writing email marketing messages. So the best email marketing messages have several features that make them excellent for converting, and these include personalization, a clear message in less than 200 words, a call to action, some form of media, share buttons, and also the legal requirements. Although the legal requirements don't make them converting, they are required by law, so we always have to put those in. So last month, I demonstrated this email here on the right hand side as a very bad email for breaking the law. But it's also a very bad email for converting. So I thought I'd bring it back. Right, so the first problem with it is that there's limited personalization. You can see my domain name up there. But even though they sent it to David, to me, they actually haven't mentioned my name. So it's not very personalized. They've not really taken time for it. The email is 200 words. It's about 160, but it contains a lot of unnecessary content in there, which means it's longer than it needs to be. And with email, the shorter the message, the better it is, because people generally they skim read messages, especially if they're very long. They don't want to be spending a long time reading emails unless it's important to them. So marketing email is not high on their agenda. So it has to be short, snappy, relevant, and effective. The spelling and grammar in this email has a lot to be admired. Unfortunately, I've got it here, intensive experience. I have no idea what that means, intensive experience. Also, if you look at the subject line, looking for a develop Android mobile apps, the email is just atrocious. The spelling and grammar is just atrocious. I'm not going to be going with a company that can't spell or anything like that. Not consistent in formatting either. It's all over the place. If you look at the 5th bullet point, it's not the same as the other 4 bullet points. There's no brackets around it. They haven't really made it very clear on the formatting. If you look at the 3rd from last paragraph, it looks like they've just put in a random enter on the line. It's just all over the place. In addition, I have no idea who they are. They've not told me who they are. They're saying they're a innovative custom website and application development company, but I don't know their name. So why am I going to talk to them? There's no media in here. There's nothing in here to make it look attractive. And that's really what we want to do with media. But media can also say more and take up less space.